Jack Leaning struck the best score of his career and his second 100 of this summer as his Yorkshire side made solid progress with the bat on the opening day of their latest LV County Championship match with Somerset in Taunton. Put in by Marcus Trescothick, Yorkshire had some work to do in overcast conditions in the West Country, although Alex Lees was off and running for the very first ball of the match. He was in need of a score after a short spell of indifferent form. With Adam Lyth at Lords, Will Rhodes was promoted back to the top of the order, and as they did at the start of this campaign, these two openers got their team off to a good start. They'd put on 55 when Peter Trigo produced a ball with just the right line and length to trap Lees in front for 34 in the 14th over of the morning. Craig Overton took a stunning return catch in the win over Nottinghamshire last week, but his brother Jamie was unable to repeat the magic here. That gave Rhodes a life, one he didn't make full use of, as Jamie had him fending a ball to leg gully, where Tom Cooper took a fine catch with a total on 79 for 2. Rhodes was gone for 28, but Leaning, up at number 3 after a run of good scores for the 21-year-old, was soon able to move his score along on this occasion in the company of his captain Andrew Gale. Somerset's attack was sometimes guilty of giving too much room outside off stump, and Gale tried to take advantage of that when he could. After delivering a morning spell of 1 for 7 from 7 overs, Trigo was back on in the afternoon, and he had Gale caught off a rebound by Jim Allenby with the 6th delivery of his return. Gale departed for 22, another to make a start before getting out, and that brought Leaning and Johnny Bairstow together, two very different players but two in very good form right now. As ever, the latter wasted no time at all in getting on with things, hitting Trigo for 4 fours in 1 over at one point. In fact, the boundary was found 6 times in the space of 8 deliveries, the last of which took Leaning to his third 50 from 7 championship innings this summer, one of which he'd previously converted into a ton. This one occupied 112 balls, that being his 8th 4 overall. Yorkshire are producing another star player, so it seems. Bairstow's own half-century, following his 102 and 59 in his only other championship game this year, came off 58 balls with 9 fours, but he fell to Craig Overton to the next ball he faced. Then 2 balls later, Glenn Maxwell's debut in this competition for Yorkshire ended with a soft drive into the hands of Tom Abel, a wicket which left the visitors on 216 for 5 when some rain arrived. Back on, Adil Rashid was bowled by a ball from Alfonso Thomas which nipped back off the pitch. That left Yorkshire on 225 for 6. So Somerset would have been delighted with their position at this stage, but they still had the small matter of Leaning to deal with. Thus far this year, the youngster has made scores of 10, a maiden ton of 116, 41, 35 not out, 82 and 43 not out, which had his average for the season into 3 figures with this knock included, and this in what is likely to be his first full season in the side. He looks to have improved a lot in the winter months. He needed someone to stick with him, and that man was Tim Bresnan. This edge boundary in the evening sunshine took Leaning to 99, and after spending 7 deliveries on that score, he turned Johan Myberg to leg for the run he needed to get to 3 figures for just a second time in his first-class career of 192 balls. It had been an excellent innings from which he'd found the boundary 15 times. It also kept his side possibly just ahead on this opening day. He did eventually return to the middle to take in the congratulations from Bresnan and indeed the Somerset fielders. And Leaning was soon to pass that 116 he made at Trent Bridge just a few weeks ago to record the best score of his career. And it was his knot that allowed Bresnan to play with some freedom at the other end. This special shot off Craig Overton going all the way for 6. The England man's 7th 4 then took into a 50 off 73 balls. When Rashid fell after the rain, Somerset would have been hopeful of bowling Yorkshire out before this day was through, but thanks to these 2 batsmen that was not to be the case. However, it could have ended even better for Yorkshire. Trigo's very last ball of the day did enough to finally get through Leaning, who was out for 123 after adding 117 with Bresnan. And then 3 balls later, Liam Plunkett's first innings of the summer was ended to the first delivery he faced, Thomas winning the LBW before the players headed off. Bresnan is still there on 54, and he'll have Stephen Patterson and Jack Brooks to try to help him push the score up further on day 2. Yorkshire will go again on 343 for 8.